Hi guys, it's Beth. Welcome back to my channel and to part 2 of my DIY Pink Holiday Decor Process series. If you happen to miss part 1, where I kind of explain my projects, what I'm wanting to make and what I'm working with, I will link the part 1 video in the description box below as well as in the cards. But I'm starting with my fishtail banners that I made last time, and I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers 1/4" hole punch to punch holes, and I didn't really measure. I just kind of eyeballed at the top of each, or on the top of the very first banner, I just kind of eyeballed in from the sides and then went down as far as the guard on my hole punch allowed. And then once I punched that first one, I kind of just used it as a template for the rest of them, so I didn't have to think about it. And now the fun part of getting to decorate. This is the part I've been waiting for. So I kind of showed at the beginning that some more of the items I ended up pulling out of my stash because I realized I needed the gold. None of my silver stuff was really going to go very well. So I went back through my stash and found some other things that I think might work. And then kind of here at the beginning, I'm just trying to figure out how I want to piece things together. And for the most part, I have random stuff from my stash, like this acrylic piece word, and then stuff that I have fussy cut from the paper pad. And it's mainly like poinsettias and snowflakes and Santas. So here at the beginning, I'm really just doing what I can with my art glitter glue. I'm letting my hot glue gun warm up so that I can kind of attach some of the bigger items here in a bit. But I realized that even though I had fussy cut a good amount of stuff before I started, I still wanted or needed some more embellishment pieces here. So I do end up going back in and fussy cutting some more poinsettias and some more Santas. And all of the fussy cutting was very easy. Both the flowers and the Santas made for really quick cuts. Not quite as quick as what you're seeing now because this is sped up 5 times, but they were, in general, pretty easy to fussy cut out. Not a whole lot of like detailed lines to follow. Pretty straightforward. So I'm using a combination too of some of the border strips kind of as sentiment or holiday phrases on my banners, and then I also pull in the geometric, hexagon shapes from that one print and decide to just cut out some of the partial ones, and I'm going to kind of layer them on top and bottom of one of those little sentiment strips. And then I also decide to pull in some snowflakes, and because these are more detailed edges like the points of the snowflakes, I'm just cutting it with a white border. I'm not trying to cut out the real detailed parts, and I did choose the snowflakes that I thought would be easiest to cut around. So there were some that I didn't even try, but I decided I wanted to bring in some of the snowflakes because some of the patterns that I'm using had snowflakes, and so I just kind of wanted to bring that out as well. So rather than kind of talk throughout this whole kind of design process where I'm adding embellishments to the front of all these banners, I think I will just let you enjoy some holiday music and then jump in every once in a while when there's something that I would like to point out. Okay, so I do want to talk about this glue gun just a bit. I was asked to try out this glue gun, and it is Bonvict, and it's a full-size craft glue gun, and it's dual power, which means that it has a cord, but it can also go cordless once it's been charged for a while. And it also has like almost like a dual tip, so you can control the size of glue stream that comes out. And I've been wanting a glue gun for a while, but I mean, I have two perfectly fine ones. It's just neither one of them has like a great cord length, and both of them just kind of are awkward to handle sometimes. So when I was asked to try this one out, I jumped at it, and it is everything I had wanted. I like that, it can be plugged in if you are close to a cord, but then at times like this where the cord just kind of gets in the way, I can unplug it and use it even easier. So I will include a link to that glue gun on Amazon in the description box below if you'd like to check it out. It's like reasonable price, and it's a good quality glue gun. So I highly recommend it if it's something anybody's in the market for. And I will kind of show you some of the features closer to the end when I'm done with my banner, but I did want to chime in and share a little bit about that. So pretty much the only two adhesives I used on the banners were my art glitter glue for more of the paper, and then I used my hot glue gun for anything that was more of a 3D embellishment or the ribbon. And so here, like I used the art glitter glue on the flowers, but then my hot glue on that little pom-pom trim, and then the flare button. So I just wanted to chime in a little bit about that, and then I will let you get back to some music. Putting this banner together was super fun, and as you just saw, I even decided to drag out some gems from my stash to bling it up even more, which again is totally not like me, but I loved how it came out, and I had so much fun, and I love the colors. One funny tidbit is that some of the 3D plastic snowflakes that I used, they were a little bit of a grayish color and not bright white, which was fine. But at one point, I turned off my filming lights and I noticed that those snowflakes glowed in the dark, which is why they were kind of like a different color. So I'm going to insert a picture at the end of this segment here to share with you the glow in the dark banner that I ended up making. So here I'm trying to figure out what ribbon I wanted to use. I thought about the gold cord, but my holes weren't, since I had ended up punching bigger holes thinking I was going to use ribbon, I decided to go with something that would fill the hole a little bit more and not leave so much gap. So I had just put all of my banner pieces in order, and now I'm just stringing them through, stringing the white ribbon through, and I'm stringing it across the back so that way the ribbon isn't seen on the front and it's not covering either any of the embellishments that I've added, or it's not covering any of the paper. It's just kind of coming in over the top on the side, and then it goes around the back, comes back through and goes over the top, and then just keep on stringing. But it was a little time consuming just because I did a lot of fussy cutting, and I used a template that I ended up tracing and cutting by hand, but it was super simple to do. So if you are in need of some decor and want to use up some paper, these banners are always super fun to make. And I think this is the first time that I've really gone wild on embellishing one, and definitely something that I will do again. I almost wish I would have made me a pink one with the Pinkaboo pad that I used earlier this fall. So anyway, my banner is now strung, and it's just a matter of kind of getting it all straightened out, and I do need to kind of slide it down on the ribbon a little bit, but otherwise this project is done. And so here I wanted to show you real quick a little bit more about the glue gun. It is the Monvict glue gun, and here is it's got an on-off switch, which to me is amazing. I love that. And then that's where you can choose your glue stream size, and then you can see there that I can unplug the cord and it stands up on its own. I love that too. So here is my glow-in-the-dark snowflakes. Kind of a little fun surprise. Here is my banner where it's hanging above my door. And then here's just a close-up look at the banner. So now we're going to jump back to my sign, and I had put Mod Podge on the first side of it during part 1 of the series, and I had to let that dry. So I came back and put a coat on the other side and then one more coat on both sides of the sign. So each side of the sign got 2 coats with the Mod Podge. And then I did give it time to dry in between. I just kind of restarted the video each time I started the Mod Podge. But then I also came in with some Minwax polyacrylic matte, clear matte sealer, and this just adds extra protection. So Mod Podge is like a glue, so it does leave a little bit of a tacky feel once you've used it. And one thing the polyacrylic does is it gets rid of the tacky feel, and then it protects it, like from heat, as far as the tackiness getting even worse. It kind of protects it a little bit from that and just adds an extra layer of a sealant. So we always end up adding on all of our projects where we use Mod Podge, we always add the sealer as well. So I ended up doing 2 coats with the polyacrylic sealer as well, and then gave those time to dry. So now that it has dried, I need to add my holes back into the top. So I decided to try to see if my We Are Memory Keepers hole punch would work through the wood, and it did. I was so excited. So the We Are Memory Keepers are pretty heavy duty hole punches, which I love. And so I just kind of eyeballed where the at the top where it kind of changes elevation. I just kind of eyeballed on both sides and went in as far as the guard would let it go, and then that's where I punched. And I did have to add some extra strength to the punch, but it still punched through with no problem. So I really wanted to use that gold polka dot ribbon. But after I finally got it through, I realized it was just not going to be long enough because I didn't want to have knots on either side of my sign. I wanted to have my knot at the top of my sign so that it, could hang flat against the wall both sides, but I realized that I wanted it to be a little bit longer of a hanger. So I end up pulling out this sheer white ribbon, which I just picked up at Michael's somewhere along the line, and end up threading that through. And it takes me a minute to figure out how I want to string it through the top and how I want that to look. Do I want it to have a double loop? Do I want it to have a single loop? So then I finally decided I'm just going to do a single loop, and I like that it goes across the winter side. And I thought about, do I want to have it going across the top on both sides, and decided no. So I'm just going to leave it like that and tie the knot at the top, and then that will be where I hang it. And for both of these projects that I finished, I just used command hooks to hang because neither one of them are very heavy. So, and I like the fact that you can, move command hooks around when you change your mind about something. So both of these are just hung with command hooks on my wall. So, and now my sign is done. So using what was left of a Dollar Tree, leftover from a Dollar Tree sign and some pattern paper, now I have a fun reversible holiday sign for my craft space. I hope you guys enjoy these projects. I know I certainly did. If you have any questions, let me know. Products to use will be in the description box below. But I thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you're all having a crafty day.